Okay. Before I start, I think today it will run. So I have here a question to everybody. I think you can see it now on the screen. What do you expect from the workshop? I like to listen lean workshops, so I understand how to achieve a ppm level lower than 300 or zero defect is not possible.
Sven?
We are 16, actually 69 in the call. We have still missing 4 votes. Okay. No, but that's perfect. Okay, there are 16, so some missing, but I think the result is good. So 75% want to understand how to achieve a ppm level lower 300. Yeah, and so this is okay. This is more or less what the customers actually are expecting, or sometimes also lower. Yeah, but with my customer Mercedes in Alabama, lower than 300 is just okay for him. Yeah, so, but this is 300 bad parts of 1 million. It's not so much. Okay, good. Then let's start. This is okay. I will put it away. So we talked today about the zero defect. So one of the points which is very important is that mostly in the organization is finger pointing. Or this was Alexandro, or this was Jean Carlos, or this was Carlo, or Pierre, or whatever, or Annette. Doesn't matter. But 85% of all errors are systemic. It has nothing to do with people. Yeah, it's systemic. And then this next is also important. Separate the problem from the person. Yeah, I will now make unmute everybody. We'll see if I can do this. So then let's see. Or do it by your own. I think it's quicker, because before I find here now the button, there are so many buttons here. So then you put yourself on mute, and when you have something to say, then you unmute, because you can ask questions. This is interesting, yeah. So we make it a little bit different. Like I also learning, and then the next is zero mistakes. Principle must become standard. So this is something which is it's important. I will tell a short story. I was in Brazil just some years ago. It was 2000, I don't know, 2001 or something like this. And then I was in a training session in Mauá. It's in the south of Sao Paulo. And then I went through the plant, and then there was a sign, 10% scrap. Okay, I said, okay, let's have a look a little bit closer. And then I looked there, and the guys, they made 9.9, 10.1, 9.8, 10.2. Okay, then I came closer and asked the guys, it's possible to make less than 10%? Yes, but the boss wants to have 10%. So they make 10%, exactly 10% as the boss defined. Probably before it was 20. So the boss was happy to reduce to 10, but he not asked the guys what is possible. When he gives them a task, okay, we want to make zero defects, okay, this would happen. Yeah, in most of my projects, this is happening. Zero, okay, but you have to define it. But you can come close to zero. Yeah, one guy in the call, he's I worked with him in France, no, and then he had one customer. You have to help me, but I think it was Mazda or whatever, doesn't know. And this guy, he wants to have then something 300 ppm, yeah. And we did in France zero. So he prepared a box for him and sent him 300 ppm only to achieve the result. No? So this is something where you really can achieve zero and get the prime and get everything. It's possible, but you have to define it, yeah. Then this I will not go through all, but it was after the last call workshop about then the milk run. The people, they are now not hesitating. They call me And there was one lady, and she said, "Oh, it was very complicated. I not understood what you want to tell me." And then I said, "Okay, it's a good information, because as I'm doing it just so many years, for me everything is fine. But what are the expected outcomes? I will not read everything, but economy and operations, okay, we want. Greater productivity, we want. Uniformity of procedures, okay. Less supervision, nobody wants to hear the supervisor. Nobody. Everybody wants to have work autonomous. No? Systematic imparting of skills, creation of inventory of skills. So this is something what I did because people ask me how quick you are doing then all this. Yeah, but this was just ready. No? It's only to put it now there. And I found now there software which is not so bad where I can put it. So this is then an inventory of skills where the people which are interested, they can then look on it, and it's for free. That is important. And it's a higher morale. So this is a higher motivation. So it makes fun. And there are people also now on Slack. With Alexandro, I was today on Slack very busy. He sent me then also his 2 tests. Can be that I lost him. He also found some information from me in his spam, and it was very easy. And so he gets then a score. It was then in between, there's some meetings I could then do it. And no, it's nice. And there we have then direct communication on Slack. So who wants, because there is a click in the program of Kochi, there you can join then the Slack. And there is then the idea. Last time I said, I will not go to Facebook because I want to have only the people in which I want. Yeah. So, and so then it is then the team which is there. So Claudius come in. Okay. Hello, Claudius. Nice that you are there. Good. Next point. This is zero defect production. No? It means there is no acceptable level of error. Every mistake is tracked and the cause fought, and the achievement of quality has absolute priority before reaching the quantity. This is something which is very often in the plants. There is, to achieve then the quantity is before quality, and then the guys say, okay, I can throw it away because I make a new one. It doesn't matter. So I make a new one. I make a new one. I make a new one. So I make 10, and 5 are okay. So this is something which is not okay. So is there a question?
Ich habe jetzt ein Webinar.
Ja.
Und wenn du kommst, dann unterbrich.
I cannot hear very well. Go closer to the microphone.
Sorry.
Is there a question, or then if not, then put on mute?
No, Carlos, sorry, I was mistaken. I'm very sorry.
No problem. Because when you have a question, you can ask, because we are now just a little bit more advanced. So it's now a team, and questions are allowed. It's not that you are muted and I tell you a story. No, we can also then more proactive. It makes more fun. So tolerate and pray healthy. There's also a story. I have a lot of stories with one of the guys which in the call. We were in France again, and there was came a Japanese there, and then he was then very impressed about our ppm level. No? And then I said to him, yes, we do it every morning. I go in the church, put a candle, and I pray. And then, how do you do that to achieve then a better ppm level than Carlos? He said then, okay, and in the night I go, so we improve our ppm level. And the Japanese, I think he's still believing it today. So it is something which it is really fun, because the people say there is somebody will help, but you have to work on it. No? And also, it's not make sense to run the system and sort out missing parts. For tomorrow, who will then join the shop floor meeting, we will see then the undons. This is then, for example, what Nissan implemented just 20 years ago. So when there are 3 bad parts, they can stop the line and so on and so on. Yeah? This is real. This is real, yeah. And this is something which is in the procedure, and the good, or I would say the very good or the great plants, they do it, no, to make them really a good plant better. This is our task. And so they have to stop now. Good. Then next is, this is exactly what has to be done. The guy here has to stop. And every employee is entitled and obliged to stop the production in the event of an irregularity, material, machine, or product. So this is something which is there. They have here in the organization, I've never seen, this is interesting. They have at the injection molding machine, they have their red and green balls. Yeah, they put not green balls in. Yeah, this is not because every normal green is good because the parts are good. So, but they put, when there is a bad part, put a red ball. Say a tube and put a red ball in. Yeah. Okay, when then comes the green, okay, it's fine. When they come again a red, okay. Then come a green, they come a red. So 3 reds, then have to stop. Yeah, this is a rule because the people say, oh, when I have to stop. Okay, when you have 3 red balls in it, then the process is not stable, have to stop. Yeah, can be also red, 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 or can be red, red, green, green, red, or something like this. But when this is happening, and I find this is very good solution, it is easy. And I like this. This I will also then present in the dictionary, or I don't know, in Zero Defects 2.0 or whatever. But this is something which is very interesting, and make a good copy. And then, okay, who just joined there one or other of the courses, but there you have really to be a little bit patient because this is Zero Defect, so you stop. All the rest which is there written, that you have a process control card, stop the system, that you finally have systematic problem solving and so on. This is which is important. But this can come further on, yeah. And this is also important that not everybody is running around like a chicken without heads. That they really say, okay, now we make a PDCA, or now we make an Ishikawa, or now we make an AD. So then it's fine. So that they know what they have to do. Like in sports, there's the rules defined, and then do it. No, yeah. This is for me important. Then. This is here, everybody knows this little plastic house. For in my case now, I will buy it now for my because for my little grandchild, because it's now half a year old. So I will buy them in the future. Bobika I just bought, and this will be one of the next. So there's a house, and everybody knows this house. There's on the top there, you can put then round in, triangle, and rectangle, and the star. And so this is Pokayoke, so they know just with half a year or 1 year that the star is not fitting in the round. And so this should be something which we should also do in our production. It knows Pokayoke, avoid accidental wrongdoing. In German, idiotensicher. In Slovenian, trottelsicher, because it's really trottelsicher in Slovenian. It's trottelsicher. It's in Slovenian, it's trottelsicher. So you have then really to avoid that the things happens, yeah. This is because the stable process are the basis for short lead times and high productivity. And this was also there one of the questions why I have to standardize. There was today, I can name it, there was Alexandro, I have to deduct 5 points. So for the others, when there is the question why you have to do standards, then please write standard is the basis for then the improvement process. Because when you don't define the standard, when you define not, okay, I will stay now on distance, okay, and you have not defined it, you cannot improve because somebody is running and want to fly high, because you have to really define a standard. So that if you have not a standard, you cannot optimize. It's very easy, but very often the people, you have written there a nice story, but I had to deduct 5 points, but you are still a trainer, 92, we were over 92, and so it was okay. No, but it is something because when a guy makes 100 points, it is 100 points. Yeah, when a guy is good, is good. There were also people which wrote me, I have in this business, I have not a milk run. Okay, then I exclude it because I have not to invent now a story or. In my business, I not have pull principle. Okay, then I exclude it. Then I make then 6 questions of 7, and then I give them also the points. Nobody to be in fear that he will not get the certificate. This is something which we have to do because There are questions which are really then for automotive, and here people inside, they come from IT, they come from other, from development and other really parts of the industry, and so we have to be very easygoing and say, okay, this we forget. Okay, the next one is then, this is always very important. You have not only an external supplier and an external customer, you have also internal. Yeah. One of the next courses, you can only see that it is, that you know, but who is then interesting and will make then the turtle, then from everybody I receive a turtle. And in the turtle is the input-output model, where then where is the head goes the input, and on the other side is the output. No? As the turtle is like this, and then you have some legs, and then there is the process description. And this is very important. And very often in the plants, I brought then the people together. And then they said, no, this you have not to grind. This is then, when you mill it, is fine. And this is not needed to make it so accurate. Here is okay, and this is this. So when the people talk to each other, they know, okay, this is a critical measurement. This has to be fine. And then we reduce then the cost by half, because before a guy from the development department, because he is responsible for the product and quality, defines then a very high standard. But nobody needs this. No? And so I put then the guys together. Okay, must be correct. You cannot. In machine building, it's a little bit more flexible. In automotive, you have to be there a little bit cautious. But important is to understand what your internal customer is doing and what the internal supplier is doing. And this is a very big issue, because I have always this, and also your controller has to be a good friend of you, because he can kill you, because it's important that you are very aligned with the controller. Yeah? So he's also then something, don't control by yourselves. No? Discuss with the controller. These are the things that help me, because finally all what we are talking has to go to the bottom line. Yeah, and it's only existing one truth. And you can be for sure, all the production guys, they believe on the controller, not on the production guy. They believe also on sales guy, but on the production is then the most difficult. And so it's very important that you understand this. Yeah. Then we go here. This is also something which is one of the questions of the test. Yeah, you have to see then the 10th rule of error costs. This is clear or not. For the most, it's not clear, because there are, when it's automotive, we make then a so-called design FMEA. So we try to avoid the mistakes in design. When you make there, for example, an error in design, and the production guy said, okay, please change it. It can be that it costs then, okay, I put here now $1,000 because he has to work there a little bit, okay. But finally, nobody talked to him, and it went then through all the concept phase, goes to pilot production, and goes finally to customer use. And when there is a recall of a car, and you see then 300,000 cars come back because the brake is not functioning, this is $10 million or more. Yeah, so please stop when there is an issue. And this you have to understand, because this is important, and this is something to explain also to people why they have to stop now. If not, it don't make sense. Yeah. Good. So then the summary, a definition. So there is no acceptable level of error. Track and cause and fault all errors. And then priority is then quality before quantity. Yeah. And without zero defects, you cannot make a milk run, you cannot make a pull, you can make nothing. You cannot make a Kanban, forget. It's you cannot make a flex plan, you cannot make a production planning, you can make nothing. Then you have then the plant not with stable processes, all the other tools which you will learn, or some of you were just starting in the middle and must just make pull, and so forget it. And who remembers, because I asked then also, what is the basis for this? And so you understand, so it makes a little bit sense to start in the beginning, but doesn't matter, you will catch it. Yeah? When you start at the end, doesn't matter, so it will repeat it. Then the story with the internal customer. And one of the points which I always mention is the cultural change, because there is a mindset. And when I go now to Alabama, there's So only one guy is always talking there, no? And the team is not talking. So there's no team. And then important is that you hire the right people with the right mindset and so on. So this is something which is very important. You cannot let it only for HR because they have there to do hire one guy. Okay, hire one guy, but what he has to do and if he fits, it's important that this is done. The 10 rules of the cost. Then what is mobilize the shop floor? Use the flyer in the download. When you really want to mobilize your shop floor, there is a flyer there. You can download it. You can put then, in case of from engineering, the name of your plant, can adapt it and can print it out. I don't know if I have then a printer which I had, so I had to make then the second side inverse, but depends on your printer. You can change it in the way you want. And I always do the following. I print out then this flyer, no? And put it there on, tomorrow we talk about shop floor management. There's one board where they meet, no? And there you put that 20 of them. And then you see if the next day there are 20, for sure not. There are only 10 or nothing. And the guys which are really interested in to understand, which are not taking a flyer, you have not to teach. Forget it. No, there must be just the guy has to be interested, and then sometimes I had then more flyers sold than because they also distributed at home. No? So more flyers than employees, but doesn't matter because they take it home and show it and so on to the wife and to the kids and so on. But it's important, and then they have to make a cost, and then you make a test, and then you know the guy knows because then you can talk about him zero defect because it's very easy. And not to beat then him and say, okay, you are very bad. You make a lot of bad parts. Is not very effective. Point 6 is very important. Yeah, this is something which you can find when you go to the dictionary. You can, it's also a dictionary. You go on quality indicators, and then you can see about first pass yield. It's very easy. You have to weight the scrap. Yeah, all the rest forget. Because you have then in injection molding, there is, for example, there 100 gram is then the weight, 10 parts is 1 kilo. Okay, you give him then 1 kilo and 30 grams because 3% is then scrap. Okay, not more. And put then a dog on the magazine that he is not stealing then material. Yeah, and so that is very important. And when there is scrap, then there must be really a custom, and it must be really a weight, a balance, and not throw it away, because also to carry the scrap away costs money. So and define people which know boundary samples, which know what is good, what is bad. You cannot imagine when they are not sure, they throw away things which are still good now. And a very important is the first pass yield. So you put 10 tons in and come, for example, 9 tons out, then you lose 1 ton. And this Pierre will see in the P&L. There is a material because there was calculated 9.2 tons, but we had then finally 10 tons because 1 ton is extra, and this goes in material cost. When you put that in scrap in percentage and so on, this is a big issue. But for me, it's very easy that you really what is in the red box, you have to wait. Yeah, not make that big statistics. This is my way of working, because everything goes. Nobody is interested in the percentage. Everybody wants to know what is then the effect in material costs. Yeah, this the controller knows, and when the controller is good, then he is also then doing the following, because he has the control of the guy who is taking the scrap away, because he pays for the scrap, so he gets a double counting. Yeah, so he can see that what it is clear. He has then to separate it so that he knows then the different material and metal and so on, and then it's nice. Yeah, that's fine. And then what is clear, implemented, no? Because when you listen, it's okay, but you can implement this kind of techniques also in your day-to-day business. Yeah, this is clear. Yeah, it's better to stop before you make a mistake. Yeah, there's something about Lama, but this is not so important. Let's see if it's now functioning, because now I know. So I have then here. I make another one. Maybe I make first this. For me, it's the question: do you need support in Koji to find the documents? Because there is a program you registered. is it interesting for you that I make a session, half an hour, and we go then through Kochi, and you know exactly where is what and how it is organized, how it is structured, where you find then the downloads, and how it is organized, how you can organize it in the best way. So I give you now the pooling. Now you can vote. You can give a yes or no. When you say no, I don't know, I don't need it. So there is one. Okay. We are still 16. Let's see. No. Okay. No. No. Okay. Good. No, that's fine. Perfect. So this the system is not so bad. But the four, this I will not ask now. The four send me a mail, and then we make then a private session for. And the other not. only the four, because it does not make sense that I offer something which is boring. So when the people have said, okay, the four, they can do it. Then this is, and now I also know, last time I was bad, now I can just do it, but now it's here. Now you can give there a number, don't put it too low, so then I'm frustrated, I cannot sleep, but oh, good. Oh, this is good. 7. No, this is, oh, there's 4. Good. Good, so there's 1 is 4. So good. All what is there, 9, what is 10, what is 8, what is 7. Okay, this is something which, because people call me when they are interested in and say, okay, this is helpful, because not make sense that I offer something where it's only 4 points, because this don't make sense. And I will lose then the guy who gave me 4 points with 7. Okay, this is also something where can be that the issue was not addressed, because it's also very important what you can expect when you dial in. So you have really to see, can be that the expectation was different. With the 8, 9, and 10, okay, there I can live. With 9 is, I'm the 80% manager, so with 8, I'm very happy. Yeah, so this is perfect. So now come the last, and then we are finished, because this is here. This is also something. This is then general. No? Organize a general Q&A session. I will not make a session only about one topic. This is general about lean. When this is so, we have then. This I will then organize. I will then send you the information, and then it is interesting. So then it's a Q&A, as only 4 voted, 5 voted. Okay, 6, 7, good. Okay, then no, this is fine. There's 1 no, but it's 11, so it's, for me it's okay. So I will organize. Yeah, I will make a Q&A session, and then it's open, and so we do it in the following, that when I have now 12, so and when we have 15, so I would say that everybody can ask then 1 question. I will answer, and when you say okay, we are still interested in, then we make another round and make a second question. Yeah, so that it's then 1 question is 3 minutes, so we have 12. Well, it's 40 minutes, should not be longer. Yeah, we can then repeat it, and that's fine. Last, what I'm very happy when you send me when you send me share results. Are this I have also to click? Are those? Yeah, now you can see the results, no? Or no? I think so, no? Okay. Good. So what is for me very interesting is, as I had today with Alexandro, and also then with other people when they send me the when you send me, for example, then I would say when we did today then zero defects, when you send me before the next course, so that I can send it back. So this is for you then helpful, that you get just then the correction, and it helps you when there is something not understood to be then it's easier than in the next course. So then in the next PDCA, when you understand all this, then you don't hesitate, send me. And when you, for example, not know the answer, say, okay, I don't know the answer. Okay, you have to go second chance, because it's not that you have only 2 or 3 chances, like in the driving license. No, you can. And I can give you also then the hint. And important is that you become active, no? That you really do it, and one per week. So there are people which I want not to make 2, because tomorrow is shop floor. It's very interesting. The shop floor tomorrow is very good. This is something which is from Porsche, is from EBM. Perhaps there are big companies where I worked, and they had some good systems, and it's a good shop floor management. This you can implement. It's a footprint. This you can take and make it, because this is something which you can apply one by one. Yeah? There's everything in, from the morning meeting in Portugal, I don't know, 20 years ago, up to the latest issues about Andon, and all the things are there. Yeah. Okay. Then thank you very much, and some of you I will then see tomorrow.
Carlo, one quick question from my side, Plana speaking. From point 6, what is the abbreviation for FPY? I didn't get.
First pass yield. This is then.
Oh, okay, yeah.
What pass then through? Yeah, there is when you go in the quality indicators in the. This is alphabetic in the dictionary. You probably have access. If not, you ask me to get access. There you can find the different yields. Yeah. So there are the main indicators of quality, and there's also the specification. What is a mistake? What is this? What is this? Because there was very picky. So he said we talk about the same issues. Okay, then. Okay, then I close the meeting, and have a nice evening.
Thank you, Carlo.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Very much.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.